But so what we're fighting against though in New Mexico, $1 billion worth of industry was done in New Mexico in 2 years.
Cannabis sales in New Mexico have reached $1 billion in adult use and medical sales.
We're one of the poorest states in the United States. So we're also one of the most grossly undereducated states in the United States. So if you take $925 million from one of the poorest states in the United States, we're going to crash the economy of New Mexicans.
A new report argues that New Mexico is statistically the worst state to live in.
Albuquerque's always been, in my opinion, it's kind of all the same. We don't really have a bad area of town. It's always been bad everywhere. Like you just kind of carry yourself around. But definitely in the last couple of years,
you know, you really have to, in my opinion, have a professional look if you're going to compete at any level, at your local market level, much less an out-of-state.
These guys are growing some of the dankest weed ever, but they can't charge those $2,000, $2,200 a pound that C-Junkie and Fifties are getting just because they don't have the brand and the name.
They don't have the name yet.
The brand is so important.
Yeah, and then seeing all these other companies coming from California, just having the packaging, it's just interesting to see, bro.
This is the candy kitchen.
Ooh, it smells good. Okay, folks, so thank you for joining me. This is the official first episode of doing vlogs, right? Gonna be kind of, you know, an overview of all the stuff that I do when I go to every city. By the way, if you want me to come to your city and you think you can show me a really interesting stories, hit me up, send me an email, DM. But this first episode, I did one in Arizona, but that was only there for 16 hours. This time I was in New Mexico for 6 or 7 days. We got a documentary coming out on the Ghost vape brand. Really excited to be sharing that with you guys. But that documentary took me to 3 different states, 3 different markets, and that was the first market was California. The second market was New Mexico and Albuquerque specifically. Was there with the Ghost team for a few days there for the Lucky Leaf Expo. So stayed an extra few days, and I had my homie Damien hit me up. Damien and his brother picked me up, and they would take me around Albuquerque. Okay.
So yeah, for this first trip, I figured I wanted to give you, a sample of what Albuquerque has to offer. Today we'll check out a couple of dispensaries, and as we're going, I'll kind of like walk you through the market and like just what the market looks like here, right? I think a big topic that's been coming up is just the oversaturation in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we have over 1,000 licenses right now issued. About a little over 600 of them are actually active and going. So
Definitely, I'm excited to finally do the first episode.
For today, the first dispensary we're gonna run through is actually a smaller dispensary called Weed Snacks. Here, buddy, I'll give you the.
I've heard of Weed Snacks I think before. Yeah.
And so that's the thing too. I've been learning more about them. He's a content creator. He has a crew with them that they've anywhere that there's an event or anything going on in New Mexico, they've been very active and they've been very involved in the community. So. That's one of the first things I wanted to highlight was just, hey, there's more than just running a dispensary. You gotta be a little creative, you know what I mean? But if you just want to get back on the freeway.
I did Gassed Up Exotics. We did their grand opening. We filmed it at Weed Snacks. In New Mexico, I would say the dankest companies that are like local are definitely like Distillate Dawn. Mm-hmm. Who would you say are some of the dankest local companies?
So for solving this right now, I'm personally working to get Z Labs. We're working with Couch and Iron Lung. Iron Lungs they're working with Chadcore, so I think they're technically out of Seattle. But I think the flower brand is Frost Factory.
Okay, Frost Factory, yeah.
Like the best hash makers, it's like almost like the rapper situation. The best rapper's probably driving an 18-wheeler somewhere. You don't even know he's a rapper, you know what I mean? Like the same thing with the hash and the rosins right now. You don't know who those guys are yet. They're barely getting their licenses, or they still don't have their license, and they're still only serving traditional markets. So
Yeah.
But yeah,
for sure.
That's the thing. Tomorrow we're taking by a couple of grows where we can see, like on the micro level, these guys are churning out some of the best shit ever.
There you go.
Yeah. So people who are making it here, they're fighting against like all this other states that are coming in. Some of them are doing really good jobs. They're like doing really good business. Some of them kind of aren't. You know what I mean? And we're watching that wash out. This guy right here, you obviously linked up. This dude has some of the dankest philosophy in New Mexico, like actual fact-based stuff that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think is like the biggest differences, and
What are the big differences I see?
and the things that you think that New Mexico needs to be watching out for?
Yeah, they need to watch out for the Cali brands that are coming in, that are coming everywhere. I mean, well, and you just gotta like play at their level if it's possible, and more so in the sense of the things that are possible is like create a brand. Like you know, like you're right. Like if you don't have a brand, it's just hard. It's just that's your front line, and so. Or work with someone that has a brand, you know, has distribution, all that. Hell yeah. What are the top brands right now?
For flour, I'd say our Zips, the J&J Granddaddy Purple goes like crazy. We get it, bins of it, and it sells out in like just a few days.
Oh.
And then our Big Chicken Farms are really popular as well. We got the Royal ones; those are high THC for 30, and then we got these 8s and 10s for 15.
Sick.
And then our Amigos as well go really high as well.
These are actually some friends of mine. Sunshine Farms. These guys, some hometown heroes. Cool as fuck. All indoor grows. So like this though, you're talking about like the like some of the dankest chronic in here.
Yeah.
There's a company. Is it Kulu?
Kula Kush.
I think it was Kulu.
Smells fire.
Dude, their products sell like almost better than everybody's on the market, right? But they're not even like repping themselves.
Really?
Really.
Yeah.
They're just like white labeling their stuff. So I was like, white label over here, bros. Fire.
Absolutely.
Fire.
These guys are growing some of the dankest weed ever, but they can't charge those $2,000, $2,200 a pound that Sea Junkie and Cookies are getting just because they don't have the brand and the name.
So
It's a shame because it's like you said, these guys have the best
That's
genre,
exactly right.
and
Like,
you don't know their name all the time.
the connoisseurs, people want to be like, yo, of course everybody knows better. Everybody knows what good weed is, but not everybody actually really does. So they're getting stuff from like a really cool package, and they're like, oh, check out this Zaza, and you're like, that's some no. That's some definitely don't buy that again, right?
really.
As far as like the dopest companies, right? Distillate Dawn is probably one of the biggest hometown heroes. He has a company called Farmers Market.
Okay.
These guys, from day one, he's New Mexican. He has done everything he can to try to uphold just a very quality product. You know, in the early stages, a lot of people in New Mexico kind of struggled to make like a national brand, and he right from the gate did that. Another company is Happy. You'll probably run into a bunch of their stuff. But the cooler brands are the ones that are from other states.
Well, they're branding and yeah, they're doing all this stuff. But
Right. Okay. All right, man. So I don't even know if you're gonna use any of this, but like Weed Snacks, we got into this as like a media company before we got into the cannabis industry because we knew that we had to keep popularity up in order to be even like remotely formidable against multi-state operationals, which are like conglomerates around the United States that move in like vultures onto prey, right? So people think we're a big time brand. We're not. We're like 3 guys with cameras and stuff. But so what we're fighting against though in New Mexico, $1 billion worth of industry was done in New Mexico in 2 years. 75 million went to New Mexico, 925 million went to all the companies in New Mexico that are from other states. So $925 million left our state, which we're one of the poorest states in the United States. So we're also one of the most grossly undereducated states in the United States. So if you take $925 million from one of the poorest states in the United States, and then you do that basically $1 billion every year, we're going to crash the economy of New Mexicans and make them even poorer with a program that was put in place to actually lift them up and give them a fighting chance. It's happening. And we have to require big time companies to leave equity as part of the business plan. If they're gonna come into the state, they have to leave the equity in the state or else they're crashing the economies. The thing is if you're coming into a state where everybody's poor, and you come in, you're starting a company with $10-20 million and 5 years of experience, and then there's this guy who got a company started because his grandmother sold both of her antique trucks, and they barely make their payments, but they have some of the best damn chronic you can smoke. So I'll get off of it from there. Weed Snacks out.
Been gentrifying parts of the city. They've been kind of forcing and concentrating those pockets of homeless.
Yeah, like making it, trying to,
Almost like wrangling them, you know what I mean? Like, okay, instead of having them spread across the city, let's get them into this little pocket of area so at least we know what's going on. And I feel like even on APD side, that is strategic. They want to see more like, they've been investing a lot more in like surveillance equipment, like drones, fucking cell towers. So they're trying to pay attention to who the big dealers are, who's supplying all these areas, and I think that's also making it easier for them. Whether or not that makes a difference or not, though, I mean it's weird, bro. Albuquerque's always been, in my opinion, the same. We don't really have a bad area of town. It's always been bad everywhere. Like, you just kind of carry yourself around. But definitely in the last couple of years, we've never seen people like with shopping cart tents and like little caravans of people walking up the street up until the last couple of years. Like, that's where it's been really bad.
Like almost like every city, dude. The regulations here are starting to tighten up, obviously, a little bit as time goes on, but like there's still like facilities that don't have camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a lot of other states where the market is,
Oh, dude, yeah, so the way they basically let people apply on good faith here. You don't get inspected beforehand, like, so you'll put down, where you're gonna do business at, all your SOPs and just a bunch of paperwork, but once that's submitted and approved, you're free to have at it. Right now, the Cannabis Control Division here in New Mexico, they're starting to hire more inspectors, but they haven't even inspected half of the license holders, and that's across retail,
a lot of states,
production. Yeah.
I like the initial aspect where they don't do it initially. Well, I think there's good pros and cons to it, but like that's why I've always liked New Mexico. But one of the worst things that happened was Breaking Bad being filmed here. Not to go back to that, but which I thought was an interesting point. Is that true or no?
I could see where he might, being associated with, drug use, obviously that's not good. And New Mexico obviously has a bad issue with drugs, but I don't think that's going to be the thing that gives us a bad image. I think if you go back and watch some of those older episodes of Cops when they used to film here,
yeah.
those probably have some of the crazier shit that you could see. And even now, like if you watch like Live PD, they'll show like the Bernalillo County guys going around sometimes. And that's interesting to see. Honestly, I think if anything, Breaking Bad and the Hollywood industry alone, that's brought a lot of jobs and a lot of, and it's not, and more, again, going back to that creative opportunities for people that want to create. We don't got to lose those people anymore. They can stay here in the state and they can actually let those creative energy flourish here. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people from Matt Groening, Seth Green is from here. I'm sorry.
Seth Green, okay.
He went to Highland High School, I think. I hope I'm not butchering that. But no, I've always saw like a lot of people that make it here, they either leave or if they stay here, they end up fucking on drugs. Johnny Tapia, RIP. Unfortunately, John Jones, great champion, but obviously he's had a struggle. Something about New Mexico is just, they call it the land of enchantment for a reason. Like, it's all of our heroes, like all of our, they fucking fight a lot of demons, bro. Crap, I forgot to summarize it by all of them. But long story short, the majority of the population is heavily congested here. Even a lot of the brands and a lot of the distribution, a lot of people are set up in Albuquerque that just because it's easiest to get to. It's from here you can get to pretty much any part of the state. But you'll also see that in the online menus, right? So a lot of the brands that you see in Albuquerque, you might not see them in the southern part of the state or the eastern part of the state. But then there's a lot of smaller brands out there that you may not see anywhere else. So that's also been interesting in seeing, like, at one point there was this really tight group of products here in New Mexico. Now that all these licenses are starting to pop up and people are starting to make their own products, you're seeing that that's also saturating the market. As much as the retailers are saturating the market, the brands, like people making their own brands, their own formulations, and a lot of it is white labeling. People will just buy oil or they'll buy concentrates from someone else and then just throw it in their own packaging.
What do you think about like the So the one criticism I've heard is that, like, I was getting an Uber yesterday, and the Uber driver was a grower. Actually, was super educated on cannabis, and he made a good point. It was like, the one thing they didn't do here that they might have should have done, they should have given like a heads up, or maybe a few years for locals to potentially get their footing in the market, rather than just opening it up for anyone across the board.
Yeah, no, that's for sure something they should have done first. Is here's the thing though, New Mexico, and this is something I've been telling people a lot lately, is New Mexico has a really unique challenge in the fact that we have a really low average salary, right? I think our average income right now is about like 47 to 52,000 per household.
It's the second poorest state in the country.
Second poorest, but then second lowest in education. Like, it sucks. Like, we're really far behind on education, and so our retailers are not only having to educate people on products, but what they do and stuff, right? And why they should spend more on the quality stuff. And this is a population that they've only been used to going to their dealer, paying him $10 for whatever he has, and that's what they get. And now they're having to explain, okay, well, this strain does that, this terpene hits you this way, and most people, they're focused on that THC percentage. And that's like a quick, easy sell, right? Like, people just want to get high, and they see that number, and they associate that with the high, or the feeling that they're going to get.
So we're going to China Botanicals. Here, grab this.
China Botanicals. It's going to be in China Botanicals, Dispensary and Lounge. There's 2 locations here in Albuquerque. This is the only one that has a lounge, but I think the Manal location probably makes a little bit more money. This one's really dope though, just because they're able to have a lot of events here, and then obviously with the traffic on Central, it makes a lot of it just makes a lot of sense to have somewhere where they can pull people in. So like on Friday they had an after party for the Lucky Leaf Expo, and that was kind of cool.
I wish I went to that.
The one at the mixer was actually, it got busy over there, bro. It turned into a little party, yeah. Check in here. Probably go need your IDs too once we get in here. How's your day going?
It's good, man. It's good. We close at 6 today, so it's a short day.
Oh, that's good. Oh, cool. So we made it almost just in time.
Hell yeah, bro.
We got a couple more different dispensaries. So Wavelength's another brand they just released here. I think it's in other states. I don't know if it's in different states or not, but
I'm not entirely sure. I do know that they use our flower to make those.
Yeah.
And we do not, as far as I know, we're the only store that carries those.
But this brand right here, Underdog, that's gonna be one of the brands at Farmers tomorrow when we go to the factory. They do the extraction for Underdog, and then they also do Farmers Quality. I don't know if you have any Nero products or anything like that. No?
Not Nero. We do have a little bit of Farmers. We do have a little bit of Underdog.
Yeah. You guys have a good night, man. Enjoy it.
Stay safe.
Likewise.
What it do? We're at Twin Peaks. I had no idea what the fuck Twin Peaks was. It's like the Hooters of New Mexico. Dope day today. Very interesting. Definitely shout out to the bro for taking me around. I'm very excited. It's very dope. We went to a testing lab that we couldn't film. A bunch of other stuff as well. That was pretty dope. Tomorrow morning we're going to a grow. And then we're heading back to Seattle. Been traveling like crazy. Then we're off to New York. Been an interesting time. New Mexico, interesting market. I like it. Definitely a super interesting place. Signing out for tonight. We'll be in 9 or 10 hours. We'll be at a grow somewhere in Albuquerque. But yeah, see you in a sec. See you in a little bit. How we doing? So, last day in New Mexico. Just leaving the hotel. Got Damien and his brother here. Last day in New Mexico. What's up, boys? My bad, guys. Sorry about the wait. With the homies right now, we're going to check out the WARZONE. kind of equivalent to like Skid Row in LA. But from there, though, we're gonna be going to do a podcast, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go check out Farmers Quality, the lab. They've been here Farmers Quality's been here in New Mexico for a while. They're one of the legacy companies that really set up. And the guy specifically we're gonna go meet is Donnie. That's the owner. He has a podcast that he's been doing recently, so you'll check out his lab. Super nice facility. What I would consider kind of like a standard of like what I would expect out of a lab. You know what I mean? I think he's just interested in talking to you and getting to know you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be on the podcast because I want you to be the focus today.
What's the consumer base? Like, how many consumers are there roughly?
I think
like ballpark
per dispensary in New Mexico, there's like 2,200 people per dispensary.
Wow.
That's what it says, and that's the overall market.
I mean, honestly, I did the calculations. That was the one time I was in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I was in Oklahoma, and we did the math of the same thing, and there was like, I think it was like 800 per store, which is that's nothing. But 2,200 that's still very low. But what's
at face value, it seems like there's not a lot of pie to be had left. You know what I mean? Like it seems like there's already like they're oversaturated, but I think it's because it's more volume than anything. The basket size here is only like on average $39. It's a lot of small transactions. Like people come in, they get what they want for that day, and then they'll leave. But that's, I mean, it also depends on the area too. Some areas are just easier to get to than others. You know, you figure when people are heading home or they're whatever fits on their commute, that's usually, you know, kind of dictates how if stores are successful or not. I'm almost really like surprised delivery hasn't taken off here more. I think that's going to be a big facet.
So it was kind of interesting. So we went to the cookie store. We weren't able to get the approval for filming there, which is cool. It was a nice cookie store or whatever. And shout out to John, by the way, manager there, that, you know, hooked it up with my first ever cookies gear. I've never ever gotten any cookies gear. It's kind of funny. Like, it's like, man, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you, John. Thank you, brother. What like, I'm curious, like, I mean, it seems like a pretty successful store, right?
That's 100% the brand.
That's the brand. That's
the
not
brand.
the location. There's no other.
Did you see any other businesses down there? Any other stores?
It looked like a really, really weird location.
It's just this huge blue dot, and it's something, especially in New Mexico, like we just barely got a top golf thing like not too long ago. So these are all like new and exciting things for us. You know what I mean? So people will make the trip to cookies.
Oh yeah.
And you'll start seeing all the dispensaries too as we're going up. So like to the right, we have our Greenleaf over here. They got about 20 locations in New Mexico. So even just on Central alone, we got at least 10 dispensaries within a 2-mile radius. But some of them are staying open. Some of them are seeing consistent growth month over month. I think as new products are coming out too, that's another thing that's enticing people, is just for the longest time there was only a set list of products in New Mexico, but then now you're starting to see more brands and more options come out. So yeah, this is an Oasis right here, dispensary around the corner. It actually used to be a Southwest, no, you'll go straight. God, what's it called? Southwest Organic Producers, I think. On this left corner behind Taco Bell over here was 7 Point Farms. They just suddenly closed all of their locations about a week or two ago. I think just finances, bro.
So premium cannabis, what's 1861?
1861 is an interesting little pharmacy style dispensary. So you'll go in, they have like these huge LED displays, you tell them, and they'll have like a person come out, a bud tender come out with take your order, ring you up, hand the order to the back. Yeah, there's Enchanted, and then they'll, you know, hand your order to like a little cubby. So we got another Art Greenleaf location right here, even though we just saw one. There's literally a dispensary right next to it called Kerpel. That, I don't know if you can zoom in, but there's a corner place on the back that we just passed called El Baile. That's actually a underground, like a black market that happens every weekend.
Oh, that'd been cool to go to.
Yeah, so.
But actually, that one couldn't really film it because it'd be kind
No, they'll let
Oh,
you
you
film.
can?
It's
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
easy,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's the thing that's the good. I've gone there. I've gotten
There's
shrooms.
another one dude, there's like probably been what, like maybe 10 stores in the last 6 blocks, dude.
Yep, and there's another.
There's some. I've been in some like streets like this in different states. Like we've got one kind of like this up in Seattle, like Everett, but
Yeah.
this is on steroids, dude.
Yeah, so this is a heavy. They call it the international district is the PC term for it, but it's the war zone.
The war zone. Wait.
I'm actually humbly surprised, but you could just see by the amount of trash left behind, there's still some people lingering. That's probably the worst part, is just seeing people shoot up openly in the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's, yeah, you could probably bank a left on the next one, hit one of these back roads.
I'll go back to this.
We had a big ass balloon fight, like with a bunch of different cannabis companies at a park, and when we got there to set up, there was a dude shooting and just fucking throwing his needles in the grass. And we're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, there's about to be kids here and shit. So even on this corner right here, you got a dispensary right behind this building. I mean, how could you not look too, though, bro? It's like it's something that nobody's supposed to see this. Nobody's supposed to see this much squalor, and this, especially in America. Like, I don't know, like this strikes me as something I'd see in a fucking third world country. Like, I was raised in Mexico, and it wasn't even that bad there.
Damien took me out to a lot of different places. There's some places that we weren't able to film, and then there was also, for context, there was actually, when I went to New York episode's going to be coming out here soon. I unfortunately left one of my cameras in a taxi right when the moment I got to New York, literally right as the moment. You'll see it in the vlog. And so there's a ton of really, really, really good footage that I missed. And so there's parts of this that are, I'm not going to lie, there's some really good parts that I unfortunately I wasn't able to put it in. So just very stupid of me, very idiotic of me, but you live and you learn. The second day, we ended up going to meet the real estate guy, or quote unquote, and shout out to him. He was the homie. We went to his grow. His name was Josh. He's from Purple Rain, and Josh is really interesting. He's a really interesting dude. He kind of comes from the real estate side of things, and he wanted to get into growing, and so we talked to him about the growing.
You've seen what we're producing. It's like, I'm not a weed guy. I mean, it's smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a real estate guy.
Yeah. So, I guess just in terms of the kind of video I'm doing is just kind of overview of the New Mexico market.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what's the experiences like? What's your first impressions of the New Mexico market?
Yeah. I think it's good. I think that we need to stop the incoming weed. You know what I mean? I think that if we were held to whatever we got here, we would be set. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think the prices would go up and everything like that, but things aren't doing that. You know what I mean? I know way too many people that are bringing in a product. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's just, all it's doing is hurting us. You know what I'm saying? I think that the state's messing up because they're making money, because they're getting, I don't know, on average, I would say they're probably making anywhere from $7,500 to $15,000 per licensee. You know what I mean? So they're making plenty of money, all the taxes, everything like that, but they're making that every year. And how many licensees are there? 3,000? I think they said in that. Yeah, but everybody, I think it's like 3,000 licenses, and they just keep giving them out like candy.
Yeah.
And then
they'll cap it. I think eventually they'll close it up. I feel like Oklahoma just did that, and they're a couple years ahead. I feel like what happened is so everyone had the chance to get in, and then after like 2 years or 3 or 4, I think maybe it was 3 or 4 years in, they then said, okay, we're closing up, no more licenses. People that got in, that's that. So I feel like that's fair. You give people a chance to get in, but also later down the line, they'll restrict, close it up.
Well, I think the sad part about it with them doing that is you have some of these people that are putting all of their money into it, their life savings into their thing, and then it's like there's literally no chance of them making it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
and like that's like messed up. It's like you're just setting these people up for failure, thinking that we're gonna hit this green rush, and then the rush is over.
But at least people get a chance. That's the thing. Like, there's other markets where people don't even get a chance to get a license, right? So it's kind of, it's.
I see it both ways, but would you rather have a chance to make it? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like going for the lottery. You know what I'm saying?
No, but like, for example, this though, like would you have had a chance if it was this
I think so, because I mean, I followed all the rules and regulations, and you know what I mean.
But what if there's what if there's only like
1,000,
100 or 1,000? Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, there's those legacy licenses that you know what I mean that you didn't have a chance forever, but then now it's like opening up the floodgates. I don't know if that's necessarily the best way either.
Now, the last day, Damien took us to go meet Distillate Don or Disty Don and the Farmers Company. Now, the Farmers brand was really dope. I ended up getting to do a podcast. You can now go watch that podcast right now. It's actually out on YouTube. Go check it out. Just look up Farmers Podcast, LMC or Luke. And he gives us a whole tour. Distillate Don, he's a cat that is kind of looked up to as like a leader in the space, and that's why Damien obviously brought him there. Brought me to do the podcast with Don and but Don was very kind enough to give us an entire tour of his facility, and it was really dope. So check that out.
So it's a little, you got to be a little aggressive, and then you got to wait for the door to shut. So this is the main office. Basically, unless you're here for a tour or we're trying to like gain your business, we try to keep everybody out of the lab and out of that side. So this is kind of the customer entrance, and this is Georgia. She's our admin here, so we also call her Little Boss because she takes care of everything. So and then our sales guy and our operations manager are also in here. This is the media office.
Fire, dude! Everything's so dope. Everything's such.
Thank you.
High quality.
Thank you. This is Jeshua.
How's it going, man?
He's my media director, and he's kind of the brains and talent behind everything visual and audio that you see from Farmers. Like I said, all our pages are wiped, so we don't have a ton to reference right now. But
I know they told me
we have some drives and different things, but yeah, we do the podcast in here. The Farm Table is an industry podcast where we kind of get like a inside look and talk to people that are actually in the industry. The cannabis industry has a bunch of rumors and thoughts of how it actually is, but unless you talk to people that are actually into the industry, you don't know.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, it's just a regular job, but you still get to hear funny stories and cool shit that you don't normally.
This is like everything I've seen so far is like competing at top levels around the country. This is dope. Yeah, you guys are way ahead of anybody really here.
We've had a media. Well, Jesh is the media team.
Yeah.
But we've had Jesh way before we could afford Jesh, and he's been awesome. And like I said, everything visual and audio that you've ever seen from Farmers or that anybody's ever seen has been directed and handheld by him. But yeah, man, everything from T-shirts to posters to advertisement to signage, you really have to, in my opinion, have a professional look if you're going to compete at any level, at your local market level, much less an out-of-state market.
100%.
We do want to be one of the first New Mexico companies to become an MSB, MSO. As much shit as I talked about not wanting to help them, we eventually will be moving into other markets. We've got a franchise kind of structure set up. And we'll eventually be one of those guys in Ohio or Florida that, the locals are like, fuck them, you know what I mean? They're just trying to take our money. But at the same time, we want to take our concepts, our branding, and our quality that we know to other states and do the same thing we did here.
It's hard doing it in a small market though. Like I'll say for Seattle, where I'm from, I mean, there's really no companies out of that market that have gone national, but the thing is, I think you can start a small market, but you have to then go to one of the big 5 markets and then be like a major player there for, or build up there. Florida, Cali, New York, Michigan, Texas. But that's where I think, that's where I think.
So that's our look. That's one of the things I think Farmers has on its side right now is we have an incredibly good Texas influence. Texans love our stuff. We love Texans.
Texas is the market, dude.
Just not their government, but the Texas people are awesome. And we've become kind of a household name, at least in the West Texas area. People know a lot of we track like our T-shirt sales and stuff. A buddy of mine he has a farm in Minnesota, and he called me and he's like, dude, you'll never fucking guess what I just saw. He's like, one of my farm hands just fucking showed up with a farmer's shirt on. He's like, I can't fucking believe it. He's like, it's your shirt. And I was like, oh, really? Where's he from? And he's like, I talked to him. Some kid that just moved from New Mexico and worked at some, cannabis grow out there. And I was like, dude, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
But all the way in Minnesota.
That's awesome.
And then one of my buddies, it was his farm, so he recognized it. But yeah, man, believe it or not, our national branding has gone really well. Thanks to the Good Life Gang and kind of the networking we've done. We have a lot of national fans that follow us or like what we do. Trying to build it, the YouTube's at like 500 or 600 followers, but it's very fresh and we're getting constant engagement and constant views. And so yeah, as that grows, and you know, the other thing is we haven't really advertised it. We haven't really tried to funnel a lot of people to it. And now as
I think cannabis companies need to kind of have a media company inside of them, really, and that's finding, you know, the person that, you know, can execute that. Like this right here, this setup right here is the highest quality.
Yeah, man, he's taken creative control,
really
and
good.
really the production, the final production looks better than almost all the big podcasters. So that's one thing. No matter if we have followers or not, we have a very crisp, clean production.
That's so that's the foundation of it all. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You want to have those good foundations, though. That's something I actually didn't really have, and so I'm more kind of run and gun / documentaries, not really a sit down podcast, but this is really dope.
This has been a hobby for us. Like I said, the main thing is making dabs and selling dabs, but this was something when I told Jesh that it was kind of something I really dreamed of doing, he was like, dude,
that's me.
I can do that. I can do all that.
I'm a big consumer of podcasts.
Yep.
All things podcasts, like my main form of entertainment.
Oh, we got one more. We got
You
one
want
more
more?
spot. I'm so
one more?
sorry. Yeah.
Make sure to check out the podcast, though. Ooh,
This is the Candy Kitchen.
it smells good.
You got kind of a mix of like root beer and orange creamsicle going. So we were never originally gonna do edibles. People thought I was crazy that I was, you know, got a manufacturing license and I was only gonna focus on concentrates. But at first I wanted to show everybody we had the best dabs, we had the best concentrates, and then, you know, move into derivatives. So yeah, we finally started making edibles, and we focused on all candy. So we do taffy. My paternal side of the family is from the East Coast, Ocean City specifically, kind of one of the birthplaces of saltwater taffy. So we were the first company out here to actually do a taffy. That's commercial British soft candy equipment, and yeah, it allows us to make a ton of taffy, and any type of soft candy for that matter. Yeah, we load it into bags manually. This is kind of the finished product, but yeah, it allows you to have an even twist wrapped soft candy. You know, we tried at the beginning to really have like harsh minimums. You know, you had to spend over $5,000. You had to order, you know, you could only order a minimum of 50 per flavor and stuff like that. And we just people ended up overbuying, you know, and ended up with way too much shit on their shelves. Or, you know, let's say root beer didn't sell, so they'd end up with all their root beer packs and they'd be out of, you know, fruit punch or whatever, dragon's blood. And so, yeah, we learned that, you know, let people order whatever the fuck they want.
Variety.
If it's fucking $250, cool. You know, if they want 5 bags of this, just give it to them. It hurts a little bit in the fact that we make everything fresh, because you can't make necessarily a five bag batch. But the kitchen is able to make things a little bit ahead of time, so they keep a certain stock for the month. And then every month we rotate it, and we try not to overshoot that.
Right there?
Yeah, this is going to be the final version of the taffies. Chocolate, this is the chocolate end. So we do 3 different types of chocolate. We do chocolate bars, peanut butter cups, chocolate cups, and we also do truffles. And then we have 4 different types of chocolate: ruby chocolate, white chocolate, dark chocolate, and milk chocolate. So each different variation has those 4 chocolate variations in different flavors. So this stuff is really, really, you know, the market doesn't care so much if it's high end or not, but we do, and it tastes better. So yeah, this is a rolling station. Like I said, it's kind of skeleton crew today because everybody's out harvesting. But we have dry storage over there. Just their kind of weekly load. They're running through dry.
This actually used to be a firehouse too, or did this?
No, we built this.
That's it?
So the fire truck's just a whole nother funny story, bro. It's one of those fucking cannabis stories, but somebody owed me money. And they were never gonna pay what they owed me. So they had a fire truck, and I was like, what'd you pay for it? And they didn't pay much for it at all, so I ended up getting a fire truck just in trade. we built this facility to be extremely modular. As the industry changed, we knew we were gonna have to change, we were gonna have to move equipment around. So we went with kind of the containers in here and did stuff with the containers, so we have kind of the building in a building, and we don't have to change architecture plans if I wanna move this down there or whatever. And same thing, as we brought in equipment, the layout changed and we were able to kind of use the open floor plan to get that done. So yeah, behind you is the vault. So we have all kinds of cool shit in here. This is basically multiple stages of the process, from crude oil to finished extract. Like I said, not everything's pretty in here. Everything from final products to in-between stuff to packaged stuff that's going out to the different dispensaries. To orders that they have where they've weighed out, but it then hasn't just made it to final packaging. And then flour for our rolls. So all our pre-rolls and stuff all start as nug, indoor nug, and then we grind that down to do any of our rolls. There's a lot of crap out there. A lot of the pre-rolls on the market kind of taste like hay. So, we figured nug has gotten to a good enough price point that we can offer a premium product without,
Fucking charging
going cheap. Yeah. So we have our incubators, our ovens for our final purging, mining vessels for diamonds. We do both here. A lot of guys will get fucking sad at me, but I still run jar tech as well as pressure mining vessels. We do the jar tech more with live resin. Anything we're trying to reconstitute or recrash, we do through the miners usually. But you can't beat the, jar tech on a lot of stuff, just straight fucking iced tea. So like I said, we came out in a time where just quality wasn't standard for the average company. And so we really stood on that, and, it left us open for scrutiny, obviously, but we haven't honestly really had any bad, a couple people have talked shit, but for the most part, we've had a huge, overwhelming support from the community. Most people that use our stuff, like I said, from distillate to, rosin, they like it. At the end of the day, our processes are clean and we stick to what we're doing. Distillation hood, he's got his set broke down right now. Yeah, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. A lot of this stuff has been built up and we don't use it as much anymore. We got the dirty part, we got chem wash, eye wash, hand wash, dishwash, and ovens and sonicator for baking and getting our glass super crispy. Yep, this is our little hash row. We're running the Osprey with the nest. He's doing a run right now. And then, we got the harvest right set up, and then the forehead Medusa setup. So those are all running off this one pump down here, so he doesn't have to hand pump it. So these noisy bastards that you hear over here, those are our chillers for our booth. These are American-made negative 80 Celsius chillers. We call them Huber killers. These aren't cheap, but they compete, and specifically that big one is like 10, 15 times what the Huber that size can do. Really? So their capacities are a lot larger. I'm friends with the owners of Huber. They're great guys. They make a fucking amazing equipment. The whole Huber killer thing has been a joke because we finally got some American-made chillers that were worth a fuck. And these were government grade, like they have a bunch of government contracts and pharmaceutical contracts, so they didn't sell to the cannabis industry at first. And this is honestly one of the first pairs to ever be in a cannabis facility. This is our fresh frozen fridge. These guys got it taped up because it was defrosting. So this thing is full to the brim of fresh frozen. We've you saw the dry cage wasn't huge. We've really kind of gone to mostly premium extracts. We still make tons of distillate. It kind of comes in truckloads and we go through it real quick, but our main focus is going to be live hash rosin and live resin BHO. We can come this way, guys. This is kind of the ugly end of the lab. This is where the fucking flour comes in and gets distributed to the freezers and kind of processed through. It's non-conventional, but most of my actual flower processing, we try to do outside.
Yeah.
Just after the shit that's happened, you know, with the girl suffocating in the fucking in the dust room, and you know, different stuff like that. We really care about the crew, man. We really try to develop as much creature comforts as possible.
Sales office, IDs, also HR, couple restrooms, Jerica, vacuum processor, all processing back here. All my trimming happens in here.
Sick. This is awesome. This is really clean.
Kind of the open space, kind of walking.
Fresh frozen, huh?
All the fresh frozen. Majority of this facility, about 50% of the product goes fresh frozen.
Really? I got a company, I'm a part owner, and oh, beautiful. It's called Space Weed, and it's a big freeze dry weed.
Bedroom, this is kind of our mother space, so we keep our moms over here, just to keep them separated a little bit. So they're on this bucket system, so they stand at the floor, got the drain in the wall.
Beautiful room.
Propagation solutions are in the water in here. Cloning areas, we have a lot of our clones, a little dirty right now, but they just got done bringing out our clones. All of our veggie plants getting ready for our switch. Some more moms over there because we run out of space over here, and everything getting ready for the next flip. Veg. So we try to keep it super simple. We harvest about every 30, 35 days. And the heart of the system, all right here. This system will run off of entirely Athena products, pretty much.
Yeah, you like Athena?
Athena crushes in, super clean. We even use them for our reset, our pesticide program, and everything like that. So we're believers.
Good people over there.
Yeah, for sure. That's one machine that we got taken down. So it's empty right now, getting ready to get reset by Pete. Can we get some girls on?
There you go. Went to work. Went to work. You just do HBS or?
Yeah, I can do those HPS double NS fire. Yeah. Old school, but we're gonna go checkered at some point.
I think a lot of people are going
oldies.
bad. A lot of people are going. Beautiful. Ooh, it smells bomb in here.
So these got about a month to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna got you maybe about 7 days sooner. This is my grower, Daniel. Daniel, you want to do the rest of this walkthrough? Let us know what's going on in this.
So in this room this is our F2 room. So this is our second flower room. Right now we have about, I want to say like 9 different genetics going on in this room. These 2 rows are first time running genetics, so we're kind of getting used to them, getting used to all the kinks and stuff. The past 3 rows over there, we ran them a couple times, so we have them pretty much down. Those ones are killing it over there, obviously.
What strains are they?
So we have Trico Jordan, we have Daily Grapes, we have MVP, June Plum, PC35. We have a whole bunch of different strains over there. Over here we have some blue guava, white guava, Zerbirds, bubblegum, and then some lemon cherry skittles as well too. So we have another flower room. That flower room just got taken down.
Oh yeah, I think we just saw that one.
Yeah, so we have our bedroom over here as well too though.
Oh, fire, yeah. You got your dry flower rooms there? Yeah, Jay's the homie.
Flower system. Jay helped us out design it when he first came online, and it's all sliding racks, so we can kind of condense it on the other half as we go. These are these cure tubes I was telling you about.
Oh, these are here?
Yeah, they're over here.
Oh, the cure?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
dude.
Super nice. Worth a mention, I would say, because they've been super easy for us. You can be able to write your information right on here. It comes in with a built-in humidifier.
That's awesome.
Product right there, so you got some decent product.
Fire, dude. That looks fucking fire, dude.
So this is where all of our nutrients comes in bulk, where our bags come in, where we keep all of our IPM products and so forth. Back here is where we've got to take all of our product directly to the dump, so when we take down a room, it's got to go directly there so people don't go through the garbage and pull it out. So this is getting ready to get hauled off the
So
dump.
is that just biomass, or is that just the
all the
stuff?
biomass, yeah, as far as destruction goes.
And they just put it, and they have to put it in the dump, or they won't reuse it?
No. They won't. No. This is all kind of like the chopped down plant stocks and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
stock. Yeah.
So technically trash. Air compressor that actually feeds both of our rooms, so that we can walk around the foam sprayer and do a foam desanitation in each one of our rooms without having to drive compressor.
Oh yeah.
if they haven't yet. Break room, kind of the kitchen area. This is the marketing, social media area where we do all of our pictures, do a lot of our printing on the roller
shit, you got the
printer.
big boy printer.
Yeah, for sure. We can bring in. We got some really nice quality prints coming. The rolling printer kills it. It does the embossing, does all of our labels. We've been at Finia for the most part for the last couple of years, and then we upgraded to the rolling, which you know, has a cutter built in.
Game changer, or?
Yeah, for sure. Super nice. On this side here.
Sick, dude.
A little bit of changes to do.
That's
We'll
awesome.
put a wall up, but we're pretty much done.
But yeah, guys, New Mexico, really interesting market. I definitely am going to be back, so I know for a fact I'm going to be back to get the second part of this. Shout out to everyone in New Mexico. I love the mentality, the entire scene there is just, it's very energized, it's lively, and it's people that are trying to get it out the mud and trying, that don't have all of these advantages that a lot of these people that are in other states have in terms of a big population center, a ton of investors. These are people that are true hustlers and grinders, and there's going to be people that are going to there's going to be a lot of people that are going to fail in this industry, in that market. But the people that survive that market and go on, I think, is going to be people like Don and everyone else that we feature in this video. They're going to be battle tested, and I think they're going to be ready to be going into Texas, because Texas is the next market that's close by them. It's one of the big 5 markets. I call California, Texas, Michigan, but then New York and Florida. And in my mind, you have to either be by one of those big markets to then eventually go into that big market, because you have to have a large population center to help support your brand, to propel you to national or international aspiration. Anyways, it's going to be interesting to see, guys, but I really appreciate you all. Let me know what you guys think about this format, and like I said, if you want me to come to your city, please let me know down in the comments. Hit me up, send me an email. I would love to hear from you guys. We're trying to do a full kind of overview of the cannabis market in each state, and then also some of the other socioeconomic aspects involved with the market. And we're just getting started on this. I really appreciate you all. Thanks so much for rocking with me. We are in beautiful Seattle right now. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you all. Thanks for rocking with me. We got the New York episode is coming up next in this series. Hope you guys enjoy. Then we got Chicago. Then we got a few other cities. And like I said, hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Follow us on Instagram, social medias, Twitter, X, all that stuff. Links are down below in the description. Anyways, this is LMC signing out.